had business with Mr. Portsman, which is why he was in the area. But that's when he noticed sounds coming from my office, would be my guess.
Oh, because you were supposed to be away, right? And he must have thought it was odd, so he came into the office to check it out.
Correct. As a detective, that was the right thing to do.
But when he came in, he found his own partner standing there.
Because it was Mr. Portsman, Mr. Faith probably let his guard down. But Mr. Portsman was not so mereful to let him leave alive. He waited for a chance to steal Mr. Faith's gun from him, and then he killed him. He silenced Mr. Faith for catching him in the act of stealing. This was the moment in which the first shot was fired, the one that lighted my files. Following that, Mr. Portsman wiped the gun down and left it behind, and as he made his exit, he could afford to do that because he also left a fake diary message behind.
You're such a complicated troublemaker, you know that?
Well, if things were as simple as that, then it would all be solved. However, there was yet another visitor to my room, and this is where it gets complicated. There was another?
Visitor, sir?
Yes, it was the other person's objective was also to steal something from me. Now then, even after Mr. Portsman left, the door to my office remained unlocked. However, this new visitor had no way of knowing that, so they stole the master key from the security guard's room, and then entered my room and searched through my shelves. This was the second time they were disturbed, and it seemed the thief found their prize.
They stole the O file, right, sir?
Correct. Only just as the thief was about to leave with the file I apprehended, the thief then threatened me with their own gun and made their escape. The second bullet was fired during the brief encounter.
So the shells getting messed up twice and the two bullets. It was all because two different people were doing those things at two different times.
Precisely. So now do you see, Mr. Portsman? The person I met was just the thief, and not in fact Mr. Faith's killer. Your alibi for the time frame in which I ran into the other person is now irrelevant, because we know that the murder took place during the first culprit's visit.
What's so funny, pal?
Absolutely splendid. Your scenario explains everything.
Of course it does. He's Mr. Edgeworth, that's all.
But you know, sorry about that, it still doesn't change the fact that it's all circumstantial. Supposing there's a big if in your theory is right, it would indeed render my alibi, which has withstood scrutiny, mind you, irrelevant. But there is still one defining point in your argument for which you have no evidence. Your supposition that I was the first visitor.
Mr. Edgeworth, you can't let him get away like that, sir.
But he has a point. I have absolutely no proof at this point.
Don't say that, sir. I don't believe this. Don't worry, Maggie. I'll do something if I must.
You know something? I find your attitude to be somewhat particular, Mr. Edgeworth. If the person you met really was just a plain old thief, then why is that person not your main suspect? That is, if your theory is correct.
Portsman's alibi part 2.
The thief you ran into must be a real suspect, wouldn't you say?
I love this music.
We should be out there looking for the thief right now. They might still be nearby. I hate to repeat myself, but I've already said I was training in my room. And when Jim came to deliver some evidence to me, I was down at Criminal Affairs. So I can't be expecting to know what happened after I left. So you think we should be out there looking for the thief? Of course. Now isn't the time to be wasting time on dead-end discussions. I don't think it is at all dead-ended. I find your alibi to be fascinating. Let's continue where we left off, shall we? I know he's lying. I know he was here at the scene of the crime. I just have to find a way to prove it. Get ready for the epic music again! Seriously, I love confrontation presto. The thief you ran into should be a real suspect, wouldn't you say? Actually, no, I wouldn't. But why not? That's elementary. The dying message, of course. Mr. Faith's killer very clearly left those letters in the spines of those folders. It would be very easy. It was after they were on there that Faith stole one of them.
You mean the O-files, right?
That's how we also know the letters themselves were a setup and not from Mr. Faith. If the thief was the killer, do you think they would try to undermine themselves? Ah! Or maybe the killer just didn't think of that either. Yeah, that must be it. Maybe, just maybe. We should be out there looking for that thief right now. They might still be nearby. Once escaped, I highly doubt the thief would linger nearby. But you never know. Maybe they didn't get what they really wanted after. Oh? You talk like you know quite a bit about this thief.
It's nothing like that. Why am I using Maggie's voice for that?
It's nothing like that. I have no idea about anything is wrong. I hate to repeat myself, but I've already said I was training in my room. But according to Mr. Faith's note... Hold on, I thought we already cleared that up. Didn't we say Jin left a note for me after early the evening? If you have no proof that he left that at a different time, say just before he was murdered, I don't have any, no. You see? So I insist again that it was in my office the entire time. And when Jim came to deliver some evidence to me, I was down in criminal affairs. Why didn't you go there with Mr. Faith? That's because he said he was tired and was going to take a quick nap. You know those sofas in the hallway? He likes to sleep on those. It's one of his habits. And what of the evidence he brought? There were things related to yesterday's case, just 2 items, a gun and a pendant. Interesting. This piece of testimony seems too crucial to let slip through the cracks. Here are 2 items, a gun and a pendant. They are related to yesterday's case. Was that the gun?
Maybe press?
A gun and a pendant? Yes, this gun, which was the murder weapon, and this pendant, which belonged to the victim. And why were you taking them to criminal affairs? There was something in a past case file I wanted to compare these two to. But all this has nothing to do with the case right now. Anyway, I believe you'll find the long paper trail I left to be your satisfaction. There's so much to find out. Oh, wait a minute. 2 items. Check the note. I believe he said 3 items? Yeah, 3 pieces of evidence.
Contradiction. I just talked over an objection, I'm sorry.
Only 2 pieces? I believe the proper phrase is, here is your fail. Excuse me? You fail as a prosecutor, Mr. Portsman, as you intend to keep evidence hidden from me. What are you talking about? I haven't hidden anything from you. Well, here's a piece I think you should read carefully.
It says that Mr. Faith was bringing 3 pieces.
Yes, and this is the victim's real dying message to you, Mr. Portsman. I can't believe to get tricked by a simple arithmetic. Where is the missing piece of evidence? You have it, don't you? Only the guilty would make such a face.
Why am I using Portsman's voice? Well, I guess it's kind of an Edgeworth.
Detective Gumshoe.
You don't have to say it, sir. I'll pat the guy there head to toe.
How do they do that? What? Don't come any closer. I'm warning you.
This is all part of the investigation, pal. Don't even think about stopping me.
No!
Hey, what's this? He had this on him, sir.
Despite what you said, it would appear that you do have something to hide.
But why would he hide something like that?
There's only one reason why anyone would hide evidence of the caliber because it was unclearly plain that the person himself was the real killer. Let's examine this videotape in a little more detail. From the section of the tape that dropped the last nail into his coffin. Okay, so flip it to the back and examine the little blood there.
Ah, that's blood, isn't it?
Yes, and I believe this is what the good prosecutor was trying to hide from us. This blood is still fresh.
You mean this might be Detective Faith's blood?
No! You've got it all wrong. No amount of denial can save you. We have but to run a blood test to find the truth. You told us that you had received evidence from the victim earlier. Now you will tell us when and how did the victim's blood find its way into the video.
Yeah, it's totally suspicious.
Was it at the moment of his death? Did Detective Faith have this videotape on his personage when you killed him? You know very well there's no way to prove that. Not even if we were to examine the tape for fingerprints?
Yeah!
If I had to take a guess, I'd say the only one on here who belonged to the murder is you, Mr. Faith. No, impossible!
March 14th, 5:57 a.m., High Prosecutor's Office, Room 1202. Mr. Portsman has been placed under arrest for the murder of Detective Buddy Faith, sir.
Very good.
And the results we got back from the lab techs on the tape turned out to be real solid, sir. The blood work came back and it was definitely Mr. Faith's blood on there. And as a bonus, they were also able to lift a few of Mr. Faith's fingerprints as well. Thank you so very much, Mr. Edgeworth. I still can't believe I got to see your cool deduction skills outside the courtroom. I'm impressed beyond words, sir.
It was nothing. I'm just sorry you got caught up in a murder in my office. Please accept my apologies.
It was nothing, really, compared to what I've been through. I mean, I consider myself lucky that it was only a burglary and a murder at this time, sir. If it had been a holdup or a hostage situation, I'd have thrown my hands up in the air. I think I'm finally rising up from a good godness of misfortune to just unlucky person.
Something tells me we should have hired a different person for security detail.
You know something, sir? That Mr. Portsman really was the one corrupt prosecutor.
And why would you say he was corrupt?
Well, I heard there were a number of suspicious things related to his court cases. There's even rumors about how some of the evidence he uses is forged, sir.
Forged evidence, huh?
And they say he even decided not to prosecute a few cases for some really vague reasons. Oh, that guy was a complete disgrace for the entire profession.
We never did get around to asking what his reason for breaking into my office.
Yeah, whenever we got near that topic, he just clammed up.
Although we can be pretty certain that it was to steal something.
This is just between you and me, sir, but there's a rumor that some sort of huge organization is involved behind the scenes.
Oh, well. With Mr. Portsman not willing to do anything, it certainly leads according to that rumor. It would seem that we haven't heard the last of this.
Huh? Then Mr. Portsman isn't the bad guy?
I didn't say that, but rather that there are still many more mysteries for us to solve. For example, we still haven't figured out the significance of this piece of evidence.
I'm gonna guess this. Sir, I didn't think there's a... Oh, you're probably supposed to present the O file. So I don't think there's any mystery to that case.
You might be right there.
I think you've solved the case already, Mr. Edgeworth. The only thing left that we still don't know about is maybe this. Yep, I was right.
Yes, the O-series file, the significance of which we have yet to fully comprehend. The person who stole this file, the other villain of the night.
Yeah, I wonder who it was.
And what happened to the stolen pages? I wonder, who in the world was it that held me up at gunpoint?
Mr. Edgeworth, sir.
Yes?
I came across this while I was pressing your office earlier, sir.
This card.
What is it, sir? Is it a bird or something on there?
It's not just any bird. It's the mark of the raven, the three-legged raven. Even you should know what this is, detective.
Oh, it's about that thing, isn't it? The great thief everyone's talking about.
Yes, it's the mark of the great thief Yatagarasu. Under the mark of the legendary bird, the Yatagarasu is noble to the end, modern Robin Hood. Labeled mysterious and phantom-like, the Yatagarasu appears and vanishes at will. Though we don't know much about this thief's ultimate goal, we do know the targets. Yatagarasu likes to find and make public evidence of the corrupt dealings of sorts. The thief is always performed in silence, and always with perfection. Once a target is chosen, no dramatic calling card or announcement is sent forth. Instead, the chosen information is infiltrated without even the target noticing. Some days later, the evidence that was found is sent out to the mass media, along with this single card. Although it has been a while since Yatagarasu's last appearance.
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, looks something's written on the back.
What? Let me see.
It's the location of where the thief put the stolen files.
So the person who stole the contents file was the Yatagarasu? Yatagarasu. Organization. Quite a few key words are popping up in this mystery. The murder in my office. The return of the great thief Yatagarasu. Looking back, I can't say I didn't see these events coming, for they were heralded by the incidents that began to occur 2 days ago. The end of Case 1. So yeah, Case 1 was kind of short. Brand new episode has been added. Yeah, I never beat the ROM because I just got the ROM. But anyways, that's enough for now. So next time on Ace Attorney Investigations Miles Edgeworth, we will be starting... Come on, save already. Save! You take too long. Okay. We will be starting Turnabout Airlines and... You look familiar. See you guys then.
Praise is born.